In the 1970s, if you asked a car enthusiast in Australia which engine made Ford's V8s nervous, the answer might surprise you. Not a V8, but an inline-6 from Chrysler, the Hemi 265. Sounds unbelievable? Then picture a sporty coupe running only a 6-cylinder engine, yet beating some of the biggest V8-powered cars at Bathurst, Australia's most prestigious racing event. That's exactly what the Hemi 265 achieved. This wasn't your typical American Hemi with massive displacement and thunderous roars. This was Chrysler Australia's localized masterpiece. Compact, high-performing, and built to crush Holden and Ford on their own turf. In this video, we'll explore how the Hemi 265 became a silent legend. So powerful and unique, even Chrysler couldn't keep it alive for long. By the late 1960s, Australia's car market was a two-horse race between Holden and Ford. Each brand had local production, factory-backed racing teams, and legions of loyal fans. Chrysler Australia, seen as the outsider, selling American-imported Valiants that were bulky, thirsty, and lacked Aussie identity. To change that, Chrysler Australia's leadership made a bold move. Develop a fully local engine, independent from US designs, to give the Valiant its own identity and directly challenge the competition. Thus, the Hemi 6 project was born. This was no easy task. Chrysler US was focused on large V8s, but down under, they needed something powerful yet compact, durable enough for Australia's punishing roads. Ironically, those constraints became the catalyst for innovation. The result? A series of newly engineered Hemi-style engines, of which the Hemi 265 became the most powerful. But what truly surprised engineers wasn't just the power, it was Chrysler's choice of configuration. Why an inline-6? At the time, most believed that true power came only from V8s, but Chrysler Australia chose a different path. The inline-6, a configuration often overlooked in high-performance circles. The first reason? Perfect mechanical balance. Inline-6s are incredibly smooth, vibrate less, and remain stable at high RPMs. Perfect for Australia's rough roads and harsh climate. Second, the inline layout allows for mechanical simplicity. A single camshaft, one cylinder head, easier maintenance, lower production costs, and higher reliability than a V8. Finally, Chrysler needed a flexible platform, suitable for trucks, family sedans, and sports coupes alike. And the inline-6 was the ideal solution. Instead of chasing cylinder count or displacement, Chrysler chose to optimize every component, turning a humble 6-cylinder into something that could make even a V8 nervous. When people hear Hemi, they usually think of the legendary hemispherical combustion chambers in massive American V8s, big, powerful, and thunderous. But with the Hemi 265, things were a little different. In truth, the Hemi 6 didn't use a traditional hemispherical chamber like its American V8 cousins. Instead, Chrysler Australia implemented a Hemi-inspired design, using angled and offset valves to promote smoother intake and exhaust flow along curved paths. This allowed air to move more efficiently through the engine, reducing turbulence in the combustion chamber. The result? Better combustion efficiency, improved torque in the mid-range, and even decent fuel economy. Additionally, the use of large, inclined valves and a uniquely asymmetric combustion chamber shape gave the engine strong low-end suction and the ability to sing at high revs, up to 6,000 RPM, something rare for an OHV engine of that era. The Hemi 265 was a perfect example of just enough to be optimal. No unnecessary complexity, just smart airflow and clever combustion chamber geometry. And when every technical aspect, from combustion chamber to valves and airflow, was pushed to the limit, Chrysler created the most formidable version of the Hemi 265 ever, the legendary E49 with Triple Weber carburetors. This was the Hemi 265 at its peak. Inside the Chrysler Valiant Charger RTE49, a two-door coupe launched in 1972, quickly crowned Australia's fastest production car at the time. The E49 featured 3 Weber 45 DCOE carburetors, a configuration usually reserved for full-blown race cars. These triple side drafts allowed precise fuel-air tuning per cylinder, improving throttle response and maximizing natural aspiration. With a 10-to-1 compression ratio, a high-performance camshaft, and a refined exhaust setup, the Hemi 265 in the E49 produced 302 horsepower, an astonishing figure for a naturally aspirated 6-cylinder engine. It sprinted from 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in just 6.1 seconds, beating even the Ford Falcon GT-HO Phase 3, the V8 legend of Bathurst. No electronics, no power steering, just a 4-speed gearbox, 3 carburetors, and the raw howl of 6 cylinders screaming to redline. On paper, the Hemi 265 was already impressive, but what truly made it legendary was its real-world capability on racetracks, highways, and the rugged outback of Australia. Quick acceleration was one thing, but even more remarkable was how the Hemi 265 delivered strong torque at low RPMs. Whether in city traffic or climbing remote mountain roads, this engine responded with consistent and reliable pulling power. In Australian touring car racing, especially at events like Bathurst 500 and 1000, the Valiant Charger RT with Hemi 265 challenged the might of Ford and Holden. Without deep pockets or factory dominance, Chrysler Australia exceeded expectations thanks to the engine's simplicity, durability, and steady torque. Off the track, everyday drivers discovered that the Hemi 265 could run for hundreds of thousands of kilometers with basic maintenance. Its simple design, quality materials, and efficient cooling system helped it withstand extreme climates, from scorching deserts to damp mountain regions. With outstanding performance, impressive durability, and a solid reputation, the Hemi 265 deserved to live on. But sadly, this brilliant engine was silently discontinued in the early 1980s. No ceremony, no farewell. The first reason was a shifting market. Fuel crises and stricter emission standards made smaller, more economical cars the new norm. Powerful sedans with large engines, like the Valiant, no longer fit the trend. Second, Chrysler Australia was facing severe financial strain. Fierce competition from Holden and Ford, combined with growing pressure from Japanese brands like Toyota and Datsun, left little room for continued in-house engine development. Finally, global platform unification played a role. Chrysler US aimed to standardize products worldwide. Despite its excellence, the Hemi 6 wasn't used in the American market, making it expendable under global strategy. By 1981, after Mitsubishi took over most of Chrysler Australia's operations, the Hemi 6 line was officially shut down. No fanfare, no recognition, just an exceptional engine swept aside by economic decisions, not engineering failures. Though quietly discontinued, the Hemi 265 left behind a remarkable engineering legacy, not just in Australia's car scene, but in how the world viewed inline-six engines. Before the Hemi 6, inline-sixes were often seen as compromises, not as powerful as V8s, not as efficient as fours. But the Hemi 265 proved that when engineered right, a six-cylinder could be powerful, versatile, and incredibly durable. Its philosophy of simplicity, airflow, and smart efficiency can be seen echoed in later successes, from BMW's inline-sixes in Europe to the Nissan RB series in Japan. While not directly related, the mindset Chrysler Australia embraced was well ahead of its time. More than theory, the Hemi 265 continues to inspire builders, racers, and restorers across Australia. Valiant and Charger clubs, along with classic racing events, still honor the Hemi 6 as an icon. Its signature six-cylinder growl still echoes at car shows and racetracks nationwide. Today, the Hemi 265 is more than an engine. It's a symbol of Australian automotive culture, forever linked with classic Valiant Chargers and the heritage resto mod scene. Most notably, the Charger RT E49, fitted with the Hemi 265 Triple Weber, is considered one of the most valuable mass-produced Australian cars. Numbers matching E49s can fetch over $300,000 Australian dollars at auction, on par with modern supercars. But it's not just the rare E49s being celebrated. The Valiant enthusiast community, both local and abroad, continues to restore, modify, and preserve all Hemi 6-powered vehicles, from commercial trucks to sporty coupes. Online, groups like Hemi 6 Performance, Chrysler Australia Fans, and Valiant Charger Restoration gather tens of thousands of members, sharing tuning advice, Weber carburetor rebuilds, and sourcing rare parts. The Hemi 265 is no longer just machinery. It represents a bold era of Australian car making, where engineering passion and national pride still echo through every rev of that straight six. It didn't dominate global markets nor star in Hollywood blockbusters. And that's exactly what makes it special. It's proof that a small engine from a so-called fringe market can become legendary when crafted with dedication, smart engineering, and pure passion. From the Bathurst racetrack to dusty rural highways, from Chrysler engineers' hands to fans' hearts, the Hemi 265 lives on. Not in sales numbers, but in memories, sounds, and high-rev echoes. What do you think? Does the Hemi 265 deserve a spot in the Hall of Fame of great inline-sixes? Leave your thoughts in the comments. If you believe this story deserves to be heard, don't forget to like, share the video, and subscribe to the channel. We'll keep uncovering more forgotten machines that once nearly changed automotive history.